It was 2 a.m. when John's phone buzzed on his nightstand. Half asleep, he fumbled to answer, thinking it was his teenage son out late again. But instead, a trembling voice whispered through the receiver, "Please, Dad, I need you. Can you come get me?" John sat up straight. The voice wasn't his son's. It was a girl, young, scared, and clearly calling the wrong number. Most people would have hung up. But John didn't. Something in her voice, that raw fear, hit him deep in the chest. He got out of bed, grabbed his car keys, and decided to show up. That single act of kindness, one wrong call, would change his life forever. Hey friends, welcome to Echoes of Dad, where we share true and inspiring stories about fatherhood, hope, and the quiet power of kindness. If this story touches your heart, please hit subscribe, tap the like button, and tell us in the comments what kindness means to you. Now, let's dive into this unforgettable night, the one that began with a wrong number and ended with a forever home. John Miller was a single dad from Ohio. He worked long hours as a tow truck driver, raising his 15-year-old son Ryan on his own since his wife passed 5 years earlier. Money was tight, but love wasn't. Their little house was messy, loud, full of laughter, and sometimes burnt pancakes. John had grown used to handling life's chaos alone. He didn't expect surprises anymore. Until that night. It was freezing outside, the kind of cold that makes the air bite. John was dreaming about his late wife when the phone rang. The caller ID just said unknown. He almost ignored it, but something told him to pick up. And when he did, he heard that frightened young voice. "Please, Dad, I need you to come. He's angry. I don't know where to go." John blinked, confused. Sweetheart, I think you've got the wrong number." But the girl didn't hang up, she just cried harder. That sound, that helplessness, broke him. He remembered how his own son cried the night his mother died. Without thinking, he asked softly, "Where are you right now?" Between sobs, she gave an address, a neighborhood John didn't recognize, about 40 minutes away. He hesitated. It was late. He didn't know this girl. What if it was a trap? But then he thought of his wife. She'd always said, "If you can help someone, John, you don't wait. You just go." So, he went. The drive felt longer than usual. The roads were empty, streetlights flickering on the icy pavement. John's old truck rumbled through the quiet night as his mind raced. What if she's in trouble? What if it's nothing? What am I doing? When he finally reached the address, he saw a massive iron gate and a long driveway leading to what looked like a mansion. Not at all what he expected. He parked outside, got out, and walked to the gate. Before he could call out, the gate opened automatically, like someone was watching. He stepped in carefully, his breath forming clouds in the cold air. At the front steps stood a young woman, maybe 19 or 20, wrapped in a blanket, barefoot and crying. When she saw him, she whispered, "You came." John's heart sank. "Sweetheart, I think you called the wrong person. My name's John. But, are you okay?" She nodded weakly, wiping her tears. I just dialed the last number my dad called before he died. I didn't even think. I just needed someone." John stood there for a second, speechless. She looked so lost. He could have turned around, wished her luck, and left. But instead, he said, "Let's get you inside, huh? You're freezing." Inside the house, everything looked like it belonged in a movie. Marble floors, chandeliers, huge portraits on the walls. She led him to the kitchen and made tea, hands trembling. Her name was Emily Carrington. She was the only daughter of Richard Carrington, a well-known businessman who had passed away 6 months earlier. Her mother was traveling overseas, and she had been living alone in the big empty house since the funeral. That night, she said she had an argument with her boyfriend, who'd left in anger. She got scared and panicked. "When I called you," she said softly, "I just wanted my dad." John nodded slowly, understanding more than she knew. He told her about his wife, about raising Ryan, about how loss never really goes away. It just changes shape. They talked until nearly dawn. By the time he left, Emily had stopped shaking. She looked calmer, even smiled a little. "Thank you for coming," she said. "You didn't have to." John smiled. "Yeah, but sometimes we do things we don't have to. That's what makes us human." A week passed. John figured that was the end of it. But one afternoon, while fixing his truck, a shiny black car pulled up outside his house. Emily stepped out, holding a tray of muffins. Ryan peeked out from the doorway, whispering, Dad? There's a fancy lady here." John laughed and went out to meet her. "I just wanted to thank you properly," Emily said. "You didn't just show up, you showed kindness, and I can't forget that." They talked again, this time over coffee at John's worn kitchen table. Ryan joined in, cracking jokes, and soon the room filled with laughter. For Emily, who'd spent months in silence, it felt like warmth had returned to her world. Over the next few weeks, Emily started visiting often. She'd bring groceries, sometimes help with Ryan's homework, or just hang around in the garage while John worked. The three of them formed an unlikely friendship, a grieving heiress, a single dad, and his teenage son. Ryan adored her. He said she made the house less boring. And John, he didn't want to admit it, but he'd started to look forward to her visits too. Still, part of him worried. Their worlds were so different. She had everything: wealth, comfort, security. He had bills, old tools, and a heart patched together by loss. But kindness doesn't care about status. It just connects souls. Then one evening, Emily showed up looking nervous. "John," she said, twisting her hands, "I need your help." Her late father's company was in trouble. People she trusted were trying to take over, and she didn't know who to rely on. John wasn't a businessman, but he was honest. He told her, "I may not understand your world, but I know this. When people try to scare you, that's when you stand taller." He stood by her side through every meeting, every decision, reminding her she was stronger than she thought. And slowly, she turned things around. A few months later, the company stabilized, and Emily threw a small dinner to celebrate. She invited John and Ryan. After dinner, she asked John to step outside with her. Under the soft glow of the garden lights, she said quietly, "You know, that night I called you, I thought I was alone in the world. But then you showed up. You saved me." John shook his head. "You saved yourself, Emily. I just showed up." She smiled through tears. "Then keep showing up. Stay. Not just tonight, I mean, in our lives, forever." John didn't know what to say. He felt that familiar ache, the one that comes right before tears. He thought of his wife again, her words echoing in his heart. "If you can help someone, John, you don't wait. You just go." He whispered, "Okay." From that night on, they became a family. Not because of blood, but because of choice and kindness. Emily sold the mansion and bought a cozy house near John's town. Ryan started calling her Em. They cooked together, laughed together, healed together. It wasn't a fairy tale, life never is, but it was real. And it all began because one man decided to answer a wrong number at 2 a.m. Sometimes kindness doesn't look like grand gestures. It looks like showing up when you don't have to, listening when you could walk away. It's answering the wrong call and finding something right on the other side. John didn't know that night would change his life. He just chose to care. And because he did, 3 broken hearts found their way home. So if you ever wonder whether one small act of kindness matters, it does. Because kindness echoes. It travels farther than we think. And maybe, just maybe, it's waiting for you to pick up the phone. Thanks for watching Echoes of Dad. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe, like, and share this video. Tell us in the comments, have you ever done something kind for a stranger? Or has a stranger's kindness changed your life? Until next time, remember, kindness isn't a choice we make once. It's a life we choose to live, one heart at a time,